Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning and we are stretching out. We're doing some yoga. We're doing some foam rolling. But first, I want to ask you if you have any aromatherapy that you can spray around in your room, in your house, wherever you are, just to make it smell nice. And the purpose of the aromatherapy in yoga is that if it smells nice, you're more inclined to inhale deeply that wonderful fragrance. And the deep breathing is all, as you know, a part of yoga. And it helps relax the body. It starts to trigger that central nervous system to calm down and relax. And it just smells good when you have that. So go get you some lavender, some peppermint, eucalyptus, whatever fragrance you like. This is just a bottle that I used, filled it up with mostly water, and then all you need is about 7 or 8 drops of whatever essential oil you like. And you can always test those out at the health food store, at Sprouts, Central Market, Cox Farms. I know unless you live in this area, you don't know what Cox Farms is, but those other kind of big box franchise type health food stores, they usually have like an aromatherapy section, and you can test all the different oils. And each of them kind of has a different impact on the brain and on your body. So that's that. Also want to show you something that I kind of forgot that I had. We're out in the garage. You're like, okay, what are those? It's called the Perfect Push-Up. So since we are in the push-up challenge this month, I thought, well, I'll just show you guys these. I mean, you can still do your push-ups your way, but this is just another way to do them. Good morning. I see somebody. Let me guess. I bet it's Betsy, maybe. Yep. You're always first. I think you're winning now. But anyhow, the perfect push-up, it has 2 purposes. One, because you're holding on, like this. If you've got sensitive wrists that are not comfortable with this extreme wrist extension there, this is flexion, that's extension. So some people, it hurts if their wrist is too much pressure on there and that wrist really bending back that way. This can make it more comfortable. I mean, this or a dumbbell. Actually, a dumbbell works as well, but just something where you can kind of lock out the wrist and it's more straight in line with the arm. Also, these spin, which I'm going to show you once we get down here onto the floor. So let's do a little bit of upper body warming up before we jump right into those push-ups. I hope y'all are starting to feel strong in your upper body and seeing a difference, if not feeling a difference already. Nothing wrong with some good old-fashioned push-ups. I can remember one summer when I was in high school, really kind of getting into my gymnastics. For an entire summer, I think every night I did 100 sit-ups and 30 push-ups or something. I had sort of a regular routine, and it was just those 2 exercises was all it was, just to help keep me fit and keep me in shape before going back into training. All right, so just circling around. I'm not even telling you what I'm doing. I'm just doing it and talking, but we're just circling those arms to increase the circulation in the shoulder socket, in the shoulder joint, and then go the other way, circle it around, make the circles a little bit smaller and tighter, and lock in those shoulder muscles, meaning you engage and tighten the muscles around the shoulder joint. So those are your back muscles, shoulder muscles, chest muscles, triceps, biceps. Okay, so swing your arms up. Inhale, exhale, sweep to the back. Inhale, up, exhale, sweep back. 2 more, up, exhale. 1 more, inhale, up, and then exhale back. All right, shoulders roll around. Okay, so let's do our push-ups. First set is 20. And again, I'm going to show you how to use these perfect push-ups. So they spin. There's a little pulley system, not pulley system, but just some ball bearings in there that allow these to spin. And the nice thing is wherever it's comfortable for your arms, for your wrists to be, they can go there. So you could start with the hands like this. And when you come up, if you rotate, this is called external rotation, and that allows the pectoralis muscles to engage more forcefully. So there's 2. Inhale, exhale, 3, 4. Again, you can go all the way down with your chest and hips touching the floor. I am just modifying for me, still kind of nursing, but it's certainly getting better. That shoulder injury, which I blame on a huge lizard that fell on my shoulder. Some of you know the story. Let's go 5 more. Inhale, exhale, turn. Inhale, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1 more time. Inhale, exhale, and then just push back into an extended child's pose stretch. And then roll your shoulders around. All right, let's do another set. 16. So again, wherever you are doing your push-ups, and I've got that tutorial uploaded in the YouTube channel on different ways to modify the push-ups, depending on how you want to do them. All right, so here we go. It's inhale down. I just brought mine a little bit closer together, a little bit more narrow hand position, just to kind of change it up, mix it up. Inhale, exhale, 5, 6, 13, 14, 15, one more time, 16, and then push all the way back. All right, and then just come up and roll your shoulders around. So you should feel warm now in the upper body for sure. Chest, shoulder, back, tricep muscles all nice and warm. Wrists warmed up. So I'm just gonna set these guys aside for now. Not gonna come back to those anytime soon. All right, so stretch your yoga mat out. And we are just using nothing more than a yoga mat today. I know sometimes I use a lot of props like a chair or the wall. Can always come back to that, but just for today, just good old-fashioned yoga. So let me see who is here in the house. Good morning, Betsy again. Yep, and then I see 2 people who don't have profile pics, so I don't know who you are, but one might be Izzy. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. It is 9, it is time to do some yoga. So let's start, and we'll kind of mix that foam rolling in a little bit. I just kind of wanted to do some sort of vinyasa flow first, and then when we get down to the floor, that's when I'll bring out that foam roller. So stand at the very top of your mat, feet about hip width apart, shoulders back and down, and then just broaden the collarbone. So when I say that, what I'm saying is just from shoulder all the way across to this shoulder, just think of opening it up and just broadening it instead of being collapsed and rounded there. And then the chin is level, eyes are looking straight ahead. Inhale, breath, float your arms up. And then exhale, reach those arms down, and then just unfurl and do that again. So we inhale, breath up. Exhale, press those arms out and around, and then unfurl. And then this time we go inhale, breath up. We exhale, bend the knees, push the hips back. It's a flat back forward fold coming down, and allow your head to hang heavy. Turn your head left or right a little bit there. And then up and down, back and forth. Good. Now straighten the legs completely. So engage your quadriceps. Slide the hands up the shin bones. Look forwards. Inhale. Exhale, breath. Soften the knees, hands down, and drop your head. Do that once more. Inhale, breath. Half lift. So whenever I say half lift, it is this right here. Your back is nice and straight from the tail out the crown of the head. and the shoulders are pulling away from your ears. And then exhale, soften the knees, hands to the mat. Now, bend the knees a lot. Inhale into chair pose, so the arms sweep up over the head there. And then exhale, hands come to heart center, drop your hips down a little lower. And then inhale, breath, come all the way up to the top. And then exhale, lower those arms down, and then unfurl. Do that again, inhale, breath up. And then exhale, reach these arms long to the front, and then unfurl. Inhale, breath, sweep it up. Exhale, breath, soft knees, hips back, hip hinge, forward fold. Inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, breath up to the top we go. Now this time, exhale, hands pull through to heart center. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale, breath, arms sweep up. Exhale, flat back fold. Inhale, breath, half lift. And then exhale, fold. Now hands to the mat. You're gonna step the right foot back into a lunge. And then from here, come up high on the fingertips. Try to lift the chest up and look forwards. Inhale. And then exhale, hands to the mat, step back into downward facing dog. So sit bones are up, heels are melting to the back of the mat. Super straight arms, and just breathe. Let your head kind of swing a little here, up and down, back and forth, side to side, just whatever feels good, loosening up those neck muscles. Now lift your head up. Gaze to the top of the mat and then shift forwards into plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, breath, drop the knees, uncurl your toes, and then push your hips back into child's pose. Inhale, breath, press down and look up. And then exhale, take the right hand on top of the left, sink into the right shoulder, look underneath your left arm. And then inhale, breath, look at the end of the mat there. Exhale, breath, left hand stacks on top of the right, and then inhale, look up. And then exhale, toes tuck under, sit bones press back, head to the mat. And then lift up, inhale, shift it into plank, top of a push-up here. So super straight legs, heels are pushing to the back, shoulders away from your ears, and your gaze is maybe about 2 or 3 feet out in front of the mat there. Now, inhale, push forwards an inch. Exhale, lower the knees, uncurl your toes, bend the elbows. Let's come all the way down to the belly, slide the hands forwards a bit. Inhale, breath, press down to lift up. And then exhale, breath, release. Drop your head down. Do it again. Inhale, breath. Press through the hands to lift up. Exhale, release. Once more, inhale, breath. Press down, lift up and look up. Maybe this time you straighten those arms out. And then exhale, breath. Slide the hands back a little closer underneath those shoulders. Tuck your toes under. You're going to do one push up, and then up you go into downward facing dog. So this time, let's pedal it out. You're going to shift the weight back and forth from one foot to the other. Good. And then both legs super straight, feet together. Spread those fingers wide apart. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. And then lift your head up, gaze to the top of the mat. You're going to spring lotus. So all that means is you kind of bend the knees and just jump to the top of the mat here. And then stretch the legs out straight if you can, coming into forward fold. Inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale, fold. Now bend the knees a lot, drop your hips. Inhale, chair pose. So you're just going to sweep those arms up over the head there. And then exhale, breath, hands come to heart center. And then inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhale, breath, float those arms down and then unfurl. Do that once again. Inhale, breath, arms sweep up. Exhale, breath, float those arms down. Unfurl. Inhale, breath up. Exhale, breath, flat back, forward fold, come down. Inhale, half lift, gaze forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, breath, step your left foot back into a lunge. Now come up high on those fingertips. Try to straighten the arms, lift the head and the chest up here. Inhale. And then exhale, hands to the mat, step on back into down dog. One breath here, inhale. Exhale, reach those sit bones up, press the heels down, spread the fingers wide. Inhale, breath, shift to plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, push forwards, drop the knees, lower halfway down only here, and then hips drop, chest up, inhale, look up. Exhale, breath, push up and back, downward facing dog, one breath here, inhale. Exhale it out. Lift your head up, spring load it, up to the top of the mat you go. And then stretch the legs out straight, come into forward fold. And then reverse swan dive, inhale up. And then exhale, hands pull through to heart center. Are we starting to get a little warm? Yeah? Good. I see a few more of you have logged in. Welcome and good morning to Saturday morning yoga. All right, inhale, breath, sweep those arms up. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. Look forwards there. Exhale, step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Stay here for one breath. Inhale. Exhale out. Now take your right leg up. You can just reach it however far up you can go. It might just be right there, maybe a little higher. Maybe you go into a split, toes reaching for the ceiling. Just split those legs and breathe. Inhale, breath. Exhale, flex your foot up there, bend the knee, open up your pelvis to the right, and take a little peek underneath your right arm. Can you circle the ankle around up there a couple times? Good. Good, now square up the hips, the shoulders, stretch your right leg back up straight, inhale. And then on the exhale breath, swing your foot through, step right between the hands for a lunge. And then I want you to drop your back knee down, uncurl your toes. From there, arms are gonna reach out and up, inhale. And then exhale breath, hands come down, and then push your hips back, straighten that right leg, flex the foot, head to knee pose. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And then coming back up slowly. Bend that front knee once more, pushing the pelvis forwards. You want to flex this back buttock muscle. So engage your left glutes there. As you do this, you're going to inhale and reach up, look up. And then exhale breath, float those arms down, hands to the mat. Send the hips back once again, straighten this right leg, maybe flex the foot and then just lower head to knee. Stretching your right hamstrings. Breathe. Good, and then come back up and then set the foot down, bend the front knee, hands to the mat right beside your foot. Tuck your back toes under, straighten your leg out, inhale breath. Exhale breath, push off and bring your feet to the top of the mat and forward fold. Inhale breath, half lift. Exhale breath, fold. Bend the knees a lot and then sweep your arms up into a chair pose. Inhale breath. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Maybe you sink down a little bit deeper. And then inhale breath, all the way up we go. Exhale, float those arms down and unfurl. Do it again, inhale up. Exhale, float those arms down, unfurl. Inhale, breath up to the top we go. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, gaze forwards. And then exhale, breath, forward fold. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath, step back into downward facing dog. One breath here, inhale. Exhale it out. Inhale, plank, top of a push-up. You can always bend those knees to modify your push-up. And then exhale, halfway down, hover. Drop your hips now, lift the head and chest up, look up, inhale. Exhale, breath, send those sit bones up and back for downward facing dog. Again, one long breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And now it's the left leg for three-leg dog. So just reach your toes. Maybe you just reach to the back wall there. That's totally fine. You just go wherever it can go. You're splitting those legs, getting a wonderful stretch. Inhale, breath. Exhale, flex your foot, bend the knee, draw the heel towards the buttocks. Then open up your pelvis to the left and take a peek under your left arm here. Wonderful full body stretch. Circle your ankle around. Go the other way. Good, now square it up. Stretch your leg back up straight. Inhale. And then exhale, swing that foot through. Step right between the hands for a lunge. And then drop your back knee down and curl your toes. So now you're going to flex this right buttock muscle as you reach out and up. Inhale, breath. Look up. Exhale, float those hands down and then send the hips back. Straighten this leg. Flex the foot if you can. Head to knee pose. Good, now come back up. Bend that front knee again. Hips push forwards. Arms reach out and up. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, breath. Float those hands down to the mat. Straighten this leg. Flex the foot, toes up. Head to knee pose and breathe. Inhale. Good, and then come back up. Bend the front knee, hands to the mat there. Toes tuck under. Straighten your leg. Inhale. And then exhale, push off. And then feet together, top of the mat. And forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands pull through to heart center here. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale, breath up. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Come on down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. Now from here, listen up. You're going to take this left foot. You're going to go all the way across the floor and up to the sky with your leg into three-leg dog. From here, are you ready? Inhale. And then exhale, lift your hips. Take that foot off the floor and then up you go into a nice three-leg dog stretch. Big inhale here. Exhale, plank, forehead to knee. Squeeze your abdominals. Do it again. Inhale, three-leg dog up. Exhale, plank, forehead to knee. Squeeze your abs. One more. Inhale, up. And then exhale, bring your forehead to knee. Set your knee right there in between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Uncurl your toes. And if you're able to, sit that hip down to the floor. Now, if you're super, super tight, I've showed you this before, but for those of you that might be kind of new, if this is difficult, you just do zigzag stretch. So it looks like two 90-degree angles. It's also called 90-90. And then you can just drop your chest this direction there. Otherwise, straighten that right leg all the way back there. Turn and face the front of the mat. Bring your chest right over your thigh, over the knee. Walk your hands out and breathe. Big inhale. Exhale it out. And exhale it out. Slide your hands back right beside your knee. Bring your head and chest up. Straighten your arms. Tuck your toes under. Lift the back knee up. Inhale. On the exhale, we go right away up into that wonderful three-leg dog stretch again. Stay there. Inhale. And then exhale, swing your foot through, step between the hands for a lunge, and then just push off your back foot. Feet come together, top of the mat, and fold. Inhale, breath, half lift. Exhale, fold. Drop the hips, inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose here. Exhale, draw the hands right to heart center, shoulders relaxed. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, float those arms down, unfurl. Once more, inhale, breath up. Exhale, float it down, unfurl. Here we go, inhale, breath, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step left foot back into a lunge. And then from here, take the right leg all the way across the mat and up, up, up you go into three-leg dog stretch. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, come to plank, scoop your belly in, forehead to knee, squeeze your abs. Do it again, inhale up. Exhale, plank, forehead to knee, engage your abdominals. Once more, inhale up you go. And then exhale, plank position, forehead to knee, abs squeeze. And then set this knee right there in between your hands and then drop your hips down. So once again, 90-90 can be like this. If you're a little tight, you just drop your chest that way. Otherwise, straighten this back leg all the way out and then bring your chest directly over the thigh, over the knee here. So however far out you can go, that's just where you go. And then just breathe. Inhale. And exhale it out. All right, slide your hands back right beside your knee and then press up, straight arms, inhale. Tuck your back toes under, and then exhale. We go right back up into a nice three-leg dog stretch here. Inhale, breath at the top. And then exhale, swing your foot through, step right between the hands for a lunge, and then a big push off your back foot. Feet come together, and forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, hands pull right through to heart center. Good. How are we doing? If you need some water, I didn't bring mine in with me today. How could I forget? I always have my water with me. All right, so I'm going to get my foam roller. It's over there, so I hate that because that means I got to go out of the picture, and sometimes the focus messes up there, but I'll just move slow. And when I'm up here, I'll just say hi. Hi, Mabel. Hi, Belle. Who else is here? Just three of you said good morning. All right, so today I'm going to use this. This is the rumble roller. So this thing is serious trigger point therapy. Yes. So these little knobs, even though they're a bit squishy, they still push up into those tender areas where you might have some knots or adhesions or even scar tissue from, who knows, you fell off your bike when you were 12 and there's still memory in the muscles there of those old injuries. If they're not healed properly, if we don't take care of them correctly, it's still there and it's causing problems now as adults. So we want to kind of go deep into those muscles and try and undo some of those sticky, it's just like sticky tacked down muscle fibers against fascia. So we're just trying to create a better environment in there where the fascia and the muscle glide across one another smoothly, and that's how they should operate. But what happens is they kind of it's just like you put Elmer's glue or like super glue in there, and it's like it won't move, and then that restricts movement, and then it irritates nerve endings. So that's really the whole basis behind soft tissue therapy, foam rolling, massage therapy, and they're doing that kind of kneading across the muscles in a way to break up scar tissue. If any of you have ever had a massage, you know, they seem to have this magical sixth sense of finding where you're in pain or where it hurts, and they'll just like take an elbow and dig, right? And that's what they're doing, but here we can do it on ourselves. It's the poor man's massage. So I want you to sit on your foam roller just like this. Hands are behind, feet planted out there in front. And we're just going to roll nice and slow across the gluteals. So we're just focusing right now to start with on the glutes. And we're going to go back into some of those pigeon stretches and see if doing this actually helps loosen it up and opens you up to where you're able to go a little bit deeper, more comfortably into those stretches. I mean, technically, it should work that way. So as you're going back and forth across the glutes, and you notice, oh, there's like a knot, feels like, you know, a super ball lodged underneath there. At least I've got a lot of those kind of knots. You kind of want to hang out and just try to breathe. You could even drop one knee out to the side and then bring it up, and then drop the other knee out to the side like that, and then bring it up. So when you're doing that, it just allows the foam roller to push up into those muscle fibers. You can even do both knees, kind of rocking them back and forth like that. So now this is called cross fiber friction, where you're just going across the muscle fibers in this manner. And then again, just kind of back and forth a couple of times here. Now let's just kind of go to the very tops of the hamstrings, kind of where they insert into the gluteals. And then you can just kind of shift a little bit side to side like that. Again, it's that cross fiber friction in the fascia, in the muscle fibers. And usually it's kind of where the two different muscles intersect, like the intersection of those two. That's often where there is pain, where there are restrictions, where there's tightness. So you kind of want to get right on that point, right on that juncture. And then again, just kind of back and forth there, like that. All right, and then I'm just going to sit behind it and kind of roll it a little bit further out. I'm going to park it right underneath the knees like that. And then here you have to kind of use your upper body strength to hold your body up. And you're going to roll back and forth across the roller, starting behind the knees and then just going right back up to that point where I mentioned sort of that juncture of hamstrings and glutes. They come together right there, right at that fold, right at that gluteal fold. And then you can even do kind of a little shimmy, sidewinder, swinging those legs back and forth like that. So that's a technique called pin and spin. So it's kind of pinning the fascia and muscle, and then when you're doing this little circular kind of circumduction type movement, it stretches out those muscle fibers in a different direction. Might kind of hurt so good. Hurts so good, right? So just know that you're doing your body good when you're doing something like this. I think I've mentioned it before, but when I first discovered the foam rolling, for starters, it was like murder. So, I mean, I know if some of you are just like, ow, this is so painful, I get that. I was there. I mean, I had never done it. And I started, of course, with like the IT band on a very hard foam roller, which was a big mistake, but I didn't know. I was just trying what everybody else was doing, and I thought I must just be so tight and so messed up. I mean, just years and years and years of activity, but never really addressing it in this particular way. And I just thought I would never get to where I could do it, and it would be pain-free. But you know what? The more you do it, the better the quality of your soft tissue, and the body will start to heal itself. It's the beautiful thing about the human body, is it's just designed to heal itself. You just have to give it the proper nutrients, the proper exercises and stretches. All right, so let's go one at a time on those calves, from the back of the knee down to the ankle. We're just going to roll. And you could just kind of roll an inch or two and then stop, and maybe even put your foot there or ankle there just to, apply more pressure. Yeah. So my calves are probably, I've mentioned it before, but for me, that's just like probably the tightest muscle in my whole body. I don't know why they are so tight. So So kind of back and forth like that. Feels good, but also back and forth this way. Okay, and then just come on down. A little bit closer to the ankle. Don't get right on your Achilles tendon, okay? So that's not good to be right on that hard tendon tissue. Just stop kind of where that muscle stops. And then you can kind of roll inside like that, and then outside. Okay, and then let's do the other leg, and then we'll do some pigeon stretches, and then we'll flip over and do our quads and do some quad stretches. So we can just kind of see, you know, how this is impacting your flexibility, your range of motion, your pain level, your soreness level. If you're sore after a workout, foam rolling is a great way to speed up recovery and help alleviate that post-exercise soreness. And then again, you can just kind of let it sit there if you want, if you don't want to roll and have to hold yourself up. And you can just kind of park a foot on top, and just the pressure and the weight of that one foot is enough, at least for me, to just really feel it here. Of course, I'm on this rumble roller, so I'm getting a little bit more torture. If you have a flat one, torture, I shouldn't say that word, but you know what I mean, just a little more pressure. It's like a deep tissue massage, like rolfing. Never had that before, but I've always kind of been curious about it. Anybody here ever been rolfed before? I think I'm saying it right. R-O-L-F. It's like deep tissue massage on steroids, from what I understand. It's like they just dig into the bone or something. But they say it's worth it, you know, after they've been rolfed, everything is freed up and open, and just freedom from pain when moving. You know, that's what we're going for here. Okay. So let's just set that aside, and then I want you to come into this position here. So it's like tabletop, but I want you to stretch your left leg back and then straighten those arms out, and then take an inhale breath, just lift your hips up, and then exhale, bring that knee right in between, and then drop your hips down, uncurl the toes. Again, you can do 90-90 or this pigeon. So go ahead and walk your hands out. Also know that if your foot is in kind of close to the groin, it's a little less intense. The more you take this foot kind of up to where now that shin bone is parallel to the top of the mat, it's going to be a lot more intense stretch on your glutes. And then if you're doing that, what I would recommend trying to do is take your left forearm against your foot, right forearm against this knee and thigh. So you're kind of like wedging it in there, and then lower your chest down over that. Breathe. Inhale. And then exhale it out. And then exhale it out. Press down and lift up a bit. Inhale. And then exhale. This time I'm going to slide those arms out in front. Slide this. And then as you press up, go ahead and grab your foot, bring it back in a little closer, and then just place the hands there, tuck the back toes under. Inhale, straighten your leg out. And then exhale, breath, push back into down dog stretch. So now, because we've stretched out or foam rolled those calf muscles, maybe your heels go a little bit closer to the back of the mat there. Because I know it's, for some people, down dog, this might be where their heels are, but you want to try and press those heels closer to the floor, stretching out those calf muscles. So let's walk it out here. Just kind of notice how far down does your heel go to the floor in your down dog. Good little test for yourself to see if, in fact, your flexibility is improving there. All right, so super straight legs, feet together, inhale, breath. And then exhale it out. Once again, inhale. And then exhale it out. All right, so come into plank and let's just bend that left knee. And then you're gonna bring this knee up in between the hands and then drop back knee down, drop your hips down. So once again, 90-90, looking like this, okay, where you're gonna go kind of more off to the corner. Otherwise, straighten that back leg out and then come here. Another way to make it more intense, as I mentioned before, is to get this shin bone parallel to the top of the mat there. Then you can go forearm against the foot, forearm against the knee and the quad a little bit, and then just try to center the chest directly over your calf muscle here. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, release, come on down. Or you can. Now remember, when you are stretching, it should just be a level 7 or 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most extreme endpoint stretch. You're not trying to go there yet. Again, inhale, breath. And exhale it out. Okay, now just straighten those arms out, lift up a bit, inhale. And then exhale if you want. Walk, walk, walk your hands out. Really stretching out over that leg and breathe. Inhale, breath. And exhale it out. Good, now slide the hands back. As you lift your chest up, grab a hold of your foot and then just pull the foot in a little closer. And then hands flat to the mat here. Look forwards, tuck your toes under. Straighten your leg, inhale. Exhale, send the hips up, step back, downward facing dog again. And again, noticing where those heels go, if they're close to the mat or maybe they're all the way down. Let's walk it out here, shifting the weight back and forth from one foot to the other. So I just want to mention that if you are on a yoga mat that maybe is not, I don't know how to say it nicely, but kind of cheap, and it's certainly a good place to start, but come down to your knees and let me just tell you a little bit about a good yoga mat. So when I'm in down dog on this mat, I feel like I am sticking like a gecko. You know, they've got those little suction cups and they just stick wherever they are. That's what this yoga mat feels like to me. Prior to getting this one, I had some, cheap ones that were good enough, but I just always felt like I was preventing myself from like sliding out. There was kind of a slip factor, and if you got just the slightest bit of sweat going on, you were just sliding everywhere, and it just never seemed to work very well. And then all of a sudden I get this great mat for Christmas one year. Somebody gave it to me, and it's like, whoa, this is what a down dog really feels like. I mean, it's just night and day, the difference. So at some point, if you feel like you're struggling, and it's not just down dog, it's a lot of different positions where, you've got a wide stance like warrior 1, warrior 2, and your feet are just like, it's like you're trying to prevent yourself from dropping into the splits. You don't want that to happen. But a good yoga mat, it's like you're not going anywhere. And I'm kind of shocked. This thing's about 10 years old and it looks as good as it was the day I got it. It's a Manduka. Maybe I'll post that on there. You pay for it, but hey, before that, I was buying a yoga mat every other year or every year. So it's worth it. Okay, so what I want to do next is foam roll the quadriceps, and then we're going to go into some quad hip flexor stretches. The hip flexors are the muscles right here. It's literally what flexes the hip. This is hip flexion. So we want to stretch it out, taking it into extension, but we're going to do some foam rolling on the quads as well as those hip flexors. So come behind your roller here. And then you're going to bring your arms in front, coming into like a plank position. Looks like elbow plank. And then you want to scoot that roller to where it's right in the middle of your quads, okay? So watch that you don't just totally arch your back and let it go, or you're going to hurt your lower back. So try to squeeze your glutes, try to pull those abdominal muscles up. And you're just going to roll right to above the kneecaps. Never roll onto any bone or joint. So don't go on your kneecap. Stop before that. Then push with your arms this way to roll the roller up to the very top of your hips. And then again, just take your time as you're rolling across. Try to consciously relax your quads. So initially when you're doing foam rolling, sometimes it's so intense that you're kind of like, you're tightening up away from it, trying to prevent it from pushing in. But what you want to do is just try to relax and soften and let the foam roller push up into those muscle fibers, into that tissue, into the fascia. And then again, rolling back, taking your time. And sometimes you can just find that spot and just hang out. You might want to bend one knee. See how that feels, and then bend the other knee. So when you're bending the knee, you are stretching the quads. So you're foam rolling and stretching at the same time. It's kind of maximizing the benefit here. You can do both knees bent and then just kind of roll back and forth while the knees are in flexion. And just squeeze your abs again up and in so you don't overarch that back. Inhale. And then exhale breath, slowly roll forwards. Inhale breath as you push to roll back. And then exhale, pull forwards. And then what if you did a little bit of windshield wiper action? I call this windshield wipers. Your legs are just kind of going side to side. This is how windshield wipers do, unless you have a Mercedes. I think Mercedes go like this, right? Or something weird. It's like they've got a different pattern in their windshield wiper action. Who here has a Mercedes? Anybody? Let me know. How do your windshield wipers go? Most everybody's else's goes this way. So this is rolling onto the inner and outer edges of those quadricep muscles. So the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. Yeah. Of course, I'm on a rumble roller, so that's why I'm making all that noise. Okay, then go ahead and just push yourself up into tabletop position. Now I want you to just scoot the roller a little bit over here to the left, and then take your right knee kind of out to the side, and we're going to try and address just specifically this area right in here. So this is your hip flexors. Deep inside there is a psoas muscle. You really can't hardly get to it because it's so deep inside. Sometimes you can use a ball, maybe the edge of a roller, but we won't really try to go that deep today. Just kind of want you to get right across here. So I'm going to just drop kind of the very upper portion of my quad on top of that roller, and then I'm just going to slowly roll across up to that hip bone. Okay, so it helps to have your arms kind of braced and this leg kind of helping to lift up a bit so there's not quite so much pressure because it might be kind of tender. So you want to get though right on that area where I was showing you when you do hip flexion, where it creases, where it bends there. And then you can kind of shift a little side to side like that. So if you have lower back pain, oftentimes it's a result of tight hip flexors. And our hip flexors get tight if we sit a lot because they stay statically contracted. They're in that shortened position for a long period of time. People that do office work and sit at a desk, sit at a computer all day long, they have very tight hip flexors. And that often translates into lower back pain. So you really want to keep these nice and long and stretched out and loose. And just getting up out of that chair every 45 minutes to walk around and stretch the legs back. All right, so let's take it to the other side. So same thing, I'm going to scoot the roller over there. I'm going to bring this knee kind of out to the side like that. And then I'm going to park that foam roller right at the very top of my quads there. I don't know if you can see. And then I'm just going to roll back, so I'm kind of pushing back that way to where it comes up almost to that hip bone, right across that inguinal fold. That inguinal fold is when you're bending the hips, that little crease right there. And then push back. Hi-yi-yi-yi-yi. You are going to be really, I think, amazed at how well your quads stretch out after we do this, and how well your hip flexors stretch. And try to relax. Again, when you're rolling across a roller, the natural tendency is for the muscles to kind of seize up. Did you like that noise? That's what it feels like in there. They're just like ice. They kind of want to tighten up and to get away from it, but you've got to just consciously relax, allow the muscles to just melt. Imagine, see, like I just did that, and it's like it just opened up something. It just busted up a knot. Some scar tissue in there, maybe just some muscle tension that gets locked up in the muscles. You know, when we're stressed mentally, emotionally, we carry that in our body somewhere, usually in the muscles. Sometimes it manifests itself in other organs. Sometimes people get headaches. Sometimes people get stomach aches. Sometimes people just have really tight muscles that just impact the entire physiology. So you can do wonders for your body by just simply stretching and foam rolling and opening up these joints, opening up these muscles. All right. And then you can bend that knee as well. Okay, so from here, come back up into a tabletop position and then just set that foam roller aside. We're going to finish up with doing the back here in just a moment. But what I want you to do is just straighten out your left leg here. Then you're going to lift the hips up, and then you're going to step the right foot there. Now go ahead and drop that back knee down. So we're just in that runner's lunge position that we did earlier. And then you're going to reach the arms out and up, lifting up out of that pelvic bowl. You don't want to just sink and crunch that low back. So extend those arms up, a little downwards push with that right foot. And then exhale, stretch those arms back. Good. Now bring your right hand to the quad, left hand to the floor here. Sink your hips over to the left edge of the mat, and then just turn to look over your shoulder there. So notice how I'm driving this left hip down towards the mat, turning to look over my shoulder. Good. Now lift the hips up. Bring both hands here, and then if you can, come down onto your forearms and drop your head down. And then once again, kind of dump your hips over to the left edge of the mat like that, and then maybe pick up your right hand and just turn to look over your shoulder there to the back. Now see if maybe you could straighten out your left leg. Good, and release. Now from here, walk those hands in. I want you to walk your foot over to the edge there, and then pull your foot in pretty close, and we're just going to come onto our side and take it into a quadricep stretch. So slide this right arm out, pick up your left leg, reach down with your left hand, and then grab your foot, and then pull the heel to the rear, and then draw that thigh back around behind you there. Set the knee down, set the foot down, and then maybe you just kind of drop your head and chest back this way and extend that arm. Now when you're doing this, try to push the pelvis forwards towards your phone, your tablet, your TV, whatever you're looking at. I hope you're not looking at it on a phone because it's so small you just can't see much. I mean, I get that. But if you don't know how to cast to a smart TV, message me and I would be more than happy to sort of walk you through that. It's a very easy thing to do, and it just allows you to watch. Not like you want to see me big, but I just think a bigger visual is easier to follow, right? So inhale breath, again, push your hips forwards. And then exhale it out. Good. Now start to swing this leg back around nice and slow. Stack the knees together and then come back up into a tabletop position here. Inhale breath. Let your belly drop, head up. Exhale breath, round. Squeeze your abdominals upwards, round the shoulders, tuck the chin. Again, inhale breath. Let that belly drop, head up. And then exhale breath, rounding your spine. All right, so flat back, straighten out your right leg. So tuck your right toes under, straight arms. Now you're gonna lift the left knee up and kind of pick the hips up, inhale. And then exhale, breath, step your foot right up here in between the hands. And then drop your back knee down, and let's do all that stretching on the other side. So uncurl your toes. And then as you bring your chest up, you're pushing down a little bit here. So you're not just like hanging out and sinking into this hip. You do want to push down a little bit and kind of lift up out of that pelvic bowl, if that makes sense. And then as you squeeze this back glute, reach your arms up and back. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the fingers, stretch those arms back more. Inhale. Good, and then exhale, breath. Come here. Place the hands on the mat just inside of this foot, and then maybe you can drop down more. Maybe you can come all the way onto your forearms. So again, big time stretch for your right hip flexors. Now swing your hips over to, mamma mia, over to the right edge of the mat, and then bring this left hand up here and look over your left shoulder. If you can, maybe even straighten that leg out. So we're kind of sneaking the stretch around from the hip flexors a bit into that IT band. It's all connected. You know, you can't really stretch one thing without it kind of affecting the neighbor muscles, surrounding muscles. Good, and then just bring your hands here. Let's do it again. Swing your hips over to the right edge of the mat, and then bring this left hand here. And then you can keep that knee down just like I've got mine, or you can straighten it out, and that makes it way more intense as I kind of sink the hips down towards the floor, and then turn to look over that shoulder. Good, and then just drop the knee. And you're gonna walk this foot over to the edge of the mat here, and then sit onto your left hip, and then just bring your left foot in to the groin. So I'm gonna turn my back to you. I'm gonna come down onto my left forearm. I'm gonna reach down with my right hand and pick up my right ankle. So I pull the heel to the buttocks there. And then I draw the leg behind me more. So the more the leg goes back, the greater the stretch here in the quads, in the hip flexors. So try to get that heel pretty close to the buttocks, and then set it down, and then just reach back this way, and then press the pelvis forwards towards the back of the room. So flex your back buttock, that right buttock. Inhale. Oh, feels so good. All right, circle that arm back around. Bring your knees and your feet together, stack them together, and then just come back up into tabletop position right there in your mat. Inhale, breath, belly drops, head up. Exhale, round your back here. Inhale, belly drops, head up. Exhale, round. All right, so we're gonna foam roll the back, and then we're gonna do some back stretches. And then I wanna show you once again, I did it yesterday, but in case you missed it, the little hip reset exercise that you can do if you notice that one hip is a little bit off, higher than the other, or maybe rotated forwards. You really wanna study your body and use the mirror, not, you want to admire yourself, but really use the mirror to notice those uneven, areas. I mean, even like I noticed my right shoulder is up higher. I noticed it when I started watching myself. I used to notice all kinds of stuff when you watch yourself on video. It's not always fun, but yeah, I noticed like one, just like the whole trapezius muscle on one side is more developed. And you got to start thinking, why is that? There's something that we're doing subconsciously in our lives that's an everyday small thing that seems minuscule and insignificant by itself, but compound that over time, over years and years and years. Oh my, you've got, some serious asymmetries in the body that set you up for pain and injury later on. And you don't want to have to go get an MRI and surgery to fix it. A lot of times we can fix it ourselves. Okay, so that's my little soapbox on how the body can heal itself. So here we go. You're going to come down and set that foam roller above the lower back. Let's not get right on the low back. Let's go a little bit above that. So kind of at the base of the shoulder blades, set the feet out wide, hands behind your head, lift your buttocks up, and let's just start to roll back and forth across those mid-back muscles. So these would be, your trapezius muscles actually go all the way down to here. So they're deep. It's a deeper layer inside. So we're getting the traps, we're getting the rhomboids, getting those erector spinae muscles that go right alongside that spinal column. You can even get your QL muscles, which attach kind of around on the side. And you might feel a lot of knots here, a lot of like bubbles, like bubble wrap. Kind of close your eyes and imagine that you've got bubble wrap lodged in between your skin and your muscle, and you want to pop those out. Popping bubble wrap's kind of satisfying, I think. There's something gratifying, and so it's the same sort of thing here. You're just feeling those tense spots kind of get squished out and melted away. It's like you're just melting out the tension of your back. So just because you have lower back pain doesn't always mean that the root of the pain is in the lower back. It very well could be, but it could be that the cause is somewhere in the glutes. It could be the quads. It could be your feet, your alignment of your feet, your ankles. Or it could be something going on in the neck, and it has this kind of domino effect up the chain or down the chain. So you always want to look upstream or downstream when you have pain and try to determine where is the source of this pain coming from. And so a lot of times when people foam roll the whole body, you might not know what it is that did it, but they feel better. Their area of pain, wherever they were having it, is all of a sudden just kind of vanished. It's just kind of gone. It's like a miracle. So let's do a couple more rolls, coming up a little bit higher now, up into those traps, those rhomboids. So if your elbows are here, it kind of rounds the back, which is fine for hitting the muscles kind of dead center. But we also want to flare the elbows out and allow the foam roller to address the rear delts and a little bit farther out, right? And then you can do a little side winding shimmy action there. Again, this is called pin and spin. So for me, it's definitely a pin and spin because these little trigger point knobs are kind of wedging up in there. And then when I spin side to side like that, it is literally, it's like it's rotating and stretching the muscle fibers in this circular pattern, possibly breaking up some scar tissue. So I am going to post after this class, if I can. I got to figure out how to find it, but there's like a great YouTube visual on what's going on when you're doing soft tissue therapy. And I think it's always cool to see sort of visually 3D what's happening to the anatomy when you're exercising, when you're stretching, and particularly when you're doing this. All right. Okay, so let's sit up and then just push that aside. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position. We're going to do a back stretch. This is the thread the needle move. All of you have done this before. So just in tabletop, take an inhale breath. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath. So the palm is up. You're going to slide the arm across the floor, drop your shoulder and the side of your head down. So you want to keep this arm straight. Now, if you're able to, stretch your left arm up. Inhale. And then exhale, bend the elbow. Take the back of your hand, slip it around the small of your back. Maybe you tuck it in around your right upper thigh. And then push down with that right forearm into the floor to rotate more. Stay here for 2 long breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, breath. And then exhale it out. You're going to release that left arm straight up. Inhale. And then exhale, set that hand right beside your face there. Push yourself slowly up. Inhale. And then exhale, let's just go right across the mat diagonally. So the heel of the hand sliding there. Try to keep this arm straight and then just rest the side of your head on your bicep there and sink into your right shoulder, your right lats. 2 long breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale, breath. Exhale. Good job. And then slowly come up. Let's just do the other side. So I might need to scoot a little bit like so I don't run into the wall. All right, so inhale, breath in tabletop position. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath. So the palm is up, you're sliding it across the floor, keeping it straight, stretching all across that upper back. You drop the shoulder and the side of your head down to the mat, and you give a little downwards push with that right hand. Try to look up at the ceiling. And then option is to extend the right arm up, inhale. And then exhale, bend that elbow, slip the back right across the small of your back, the back of your hand. And if you're able to, kind of tuck it in around that left upper thigh. And then rotate, breathe, inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale it out. Stretch that right arm straight up, inhale. Exhale, place that hand right by your face and then use that hand to help push you up slowly. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, slice the heel of your hand across to the top right corner. Try to keep this arm straight and then rest the ear on the shoulder muscle there. Maybe it's your bicep muscle. Breathe. Good, and then come back up, inhale. And then exhale, walk the hands out, and then just drop the head down. Extended child's pose. Go ahead and let the hips drop back over your heels. Okay, now just walk your hands back towards your thighs and then come up into a kneeling position here. And then we're going to inhale, breath, float those arms up over your head there. And then exhale, bend the elbows here. So you look like a cactus or a football goal post. And then what I want you to do is close the elbows together, but I want you to bring your right elbow underneath the left one, like that. So cross them, and then just kind of dig this elbow on top of that right elbow crease. Then backs of the hands together, maybe your thumbs hook, maybe you keep wrapping and the palms go together there. Inhale, breath, another back stretch. So you're gonna push those elbows up and then away, inhale. And then on the exhale, lift the hips, tuck the pelvis under, and then draw those elbows down towards your belly. So what I want you to really do is jam this left elbow down into the right bicep. You're gonna feel a stretch across the traps as well, those muscles that start high up in the neck and drop all the way down. Good, now slowly come up, don't unwrap yet, inhale. Exhale, pull both arms over to the right side. You should feel an extreme stretch on your left, this one, your left shoulder, delts, back. Just keep pulling them in towards your chest and drop this shoulder down. Sometimes it wants to hike up, so intentionally drop that shoulder down away from your ear. Oh wow, this is a great shoulder stretch, great back stretch. Love it, love it. Good, slowly release, coming back to the center, and then just kind of unwrap. Take your time on doing it. You never want to go into stretches fast, and you never want to come out fast. So as your arms go up, bring the backs of the hands together, round the back as you stretch the arms forwards. Do the little unfurl move there. Do it again. Inhale, breath up. Backs of the hands together. Scoop your belly, round the back. Tuck the chin. Unfurl. Good, and then inhale, breath up. And then exhale, come back into cactus or football goal posts. And then you're gonna come together with the elbows. This time, left one goes underneath the right. So it's like you're jamming this elbow down to get that wonderful stretch once you get connected here. So backs of the hands, thumbs can kind of hook or bring those palms together there. Inhale, breath. Lift the elbows up and then away from your chest. Lift the hips up, tuck the pelvis under, and then tuck your chin. Try to draw the elbows towards your hips and really push down with that right elbow into your left biceps. Slowly, slowly come up. Don't unwrap just yet. Inhale. Exhale, pull both arms together over to the left, and then intentionally draw the right shoulder down. So I know it's kind of hard to see. It's probably just a little, weird and distorted when it's just straight on. But here, and then kind of pull down on that shoulder. Should feel a stretch all the way across that right shoulder. Should feel really good. Does it for me. I like the way it feels. Feels great. Inhale, breath. Exhale out. Good, now bring your arms back to center and then unwrap slowly, taking your time, and then inhale, breath, arms come up overhead. Backs of the hands together, scoop your belly, round the spine, stretch those arms out, unfurl it, and then do it once again. Inhale up, and then exhale, breath, rounding forwards. Good, and then inhale up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Very good. All right, so I'm going to show you the hip reset move, and you can do it with your own self, with your hands, using your hands, or you can use it with a stick, which I like better. I did this yesterday, and I said I had seen somebody do it with a stick, and it's like, oh yeah, that's like way better. So I'll show you both ways again, and it never hurts to do this even if you're not sure about whether or not your hips are even. I mean, none of us are perfectly even, I'll just tell you that, because I've been stretching people for years, and nobody's ever like perfectly symmetrical. I mean, it's very, very rare. And I'm finding that out as I work at Stretch Lab. I'm stretching people every day, and somebody comes in and they've got a right hamstring that comes all the way to their face, and then the left one stops there, and it's like, what is going on? That's a problem, right? You can figure that out. Okay, so come onto your back, bring the knees up so they're directly over your hips. Let your head just rest down here. Your little chip clip off so it doesn't poke you in the head. And then I'm going to take my left hand behind the left thigh, right hand on the front. So I'm going to be trying to push this leg that way, trying to pull this one this way. But my hands are going to apply pressure to resist against that. So they start off together. Take a big inhale breath. And then on the exhale breath, draw navel to spine. You're going to feel your abs work on this. So start to push the left leg away. Pull the right knee in for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then relax. Inhale breath. Do it again. Exhale breath. You're going to push the left leg away. Pull the right thigh in. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. So we're just going to switch it around. Left hand goes to the front of the left thigh, right hand behind the right knee. Inhale. Exhale. So push the right leg that way, left thigh this way. Ready, go. Push and pull for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Bring the knees back together. You should feel your abs contracting pretty strong here. Inhale. Exhale, breath. Push the left thigh in, push the right leg away, hold it there for 4, keep pushing 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Just hug your knees and do a little rock motion from side to side. Okay, so grab your broomstick, dowel, whatever you've got, and you're going to go behind the left knee in front of the right thigh, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to hold my arms nice and straight. Take an inhale breath. So on the exhale, I'm trying to pull the right thigh towards me. I'm trying to push the left leg away. As I'm doing that, you should feel a pretty intense contraction, engagement of your transverse abdominis muscles. So those are deep down low. It's like your body's own built-in girdle, built-in Spanx. And then relax, inhale. Do it again, exhale, push and pull. And then relax. Okay, and then we're just gonna switch it. So this leg forwards, it goes underneath there. Stick goes in front of the thigh there. Inhale, breath. Exhale, pull left thigh towards you. Push the right thigh away. 4, 3, 1, and then relax. Inhale. And then exhale, breath, do it again. So push and pull for 4, 3, abs are strong and tight. 2, 1, and then relax. Good, and then just set the stick aside. Hug your knees, rock from side to side, back and forth. Good, step the left foot down, cross right thigh over. Open up your arms, inhale. Exhale, let both legs fall over to the right and look over your left shoulder. Nice stretch here for your IT band, your TFL, that's your tensor fascia lata, your obliques, your QL, quadratus lumborum, even your chest and shoulder. Lots of stretches. If you turn your head, you're stretching the neck. Good, now slowly turn your head back to the ceiling and then bring your knees up slow. And then uncross, and then cross left thigh over the right. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, breath. Let both knees together fall over to the left side. So see, I'm kind of using this calf muscle to push down against that underneath leg, so that increases the stretch here. And then I turn my head to look over the right shoulder. Inhale, breath. Exhale it out. Good. Bring your head back to center and then slowly bring your legs up. And then as you uncross, one final full body stretch here. Legs are straight out, arms over your head. Interlace the fingers or just latch them together. Inhale. And then exhale, relax. And then wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Circle your wrists and ankles around. Okay, now bend the knees, set the feet to the floor, and then grab behind each knee one at a time, and then just a little rock left to right here. And then tuck the chin to the chest, and then push the legs out, draw them in, push your legs away, and then draw them in. And then rock and roll yourself up to a sit position. And then just come to sit, easy pose, whatever is comfortable for you. Oh, there's a nail. That was nice. All right. Inhale, breath. Float those arms up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Relax your shoulders down. And have a blessed day. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, joining us. It's all of us doing this together. It's not just like the me show and y'all are there. It's like all of us. We're on this journey of health and fitness and wellness, doing it together. All right, I hope you feel good. If you don't have a foam roller, they have them at 5 and below. So go check those out. That means everything in there is $5 or less. So it can't be too much. Might not last as long as some of the others, but at least it's a start. And then if you really like it and you're into it and you're going to do it forever, which I am, we are, let's just do this forever, it's worth the investment. So I will see you all then on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool. It's only 112 degrees out here in Texas now. You might be watching this in the winter, I don't know. But it's hot right now. Okay, see y'all. Bye-bye.